Okay, so let us start once again. We have been looking into the photoelectric effect, and in that we have seen that classical mechanics is not able to explain the photoelectric effect completely. Okay, there are some failures of the classical mechanics, so we shall see the failures of the classical mechanics now. So according to the classical electromagnetic theory actually, because classical mechanics tells us that light is nothing but the wave, and the wave can be completely explained in the form of electromagnetic wave theory, right? So according to the classical electromagnetic wave theory, the ejection of electron should depend on the intensity of the radiation and not on the frequency. So I have explained that, but in other words, there should be no threshold frequency for any material. This is contrary to the observed fact. So this has been already discussed in the last lecture, that experiments tells us that the photoelectric current depends on the frequency, but our classical mechanics tells us that it should be proportional to the intensity. And if it is proportional to the intensity, there should not be the frequency dependence, and there should not be any threshold frequency or threshold wavelength. We have seen the definition of threshold frequency, that it is the minimum frequency that when the light falls with that particular frequency, then only the photoelectrons will be ejected out of the metal. Okay, if you incident the light below that particular frequency, then no photoelectrons will be there. Okay, the second failure is the kinetic energy of photoelectron must be proportional to the intensity of the incident light. This was the main telling of the classical mechanics, okay, which is again not explained in case of photoelectric effect. The third failure is the stopping potential should increase with the intensity of light. Okay, according to classical mechanics, the stopping potential should increase with the increase of intensity of light. However, what we found, that the stopping potential is independent of the intensity of the light. We have seen that particular graph wherein we have used the light with different intensities, but for all light intensities the stopping potential was same. Okay, the stopping potential was same here. You see, we are using the light with a different intensity, but the stopping potential for all the intensities was same. So this particular observed fact was not explained with the help of classical mechanics. Again, there is no limit on the maximum energy to be transferred to the electron. That is, electron can have any value of maximum kinetic energy. This is against the observed facts. Okay, so this can also be not explained with the help of classical mechanics. And the electromagnetic theory fails to explain why there is no time lag between the instant the light falls and that the emission of the photoelectron. So actually there is no time lag between the absorption of the light and emission of the photoelectrons. This particular fact cannot be explained with the help of classical mechanics. Okay, and the experimental facts we have already seen, that it is proportional to, that photo current is proportional to the frequency. Okay, there exists a threshold frequency nu zero, only then the emission of the electron will take place. The maximum kinetic energy and the stopping potential depends on the frequency, that also we have seen. And the photoelectric emission is instantaneous process without any apparent time lag, means even 10 raised to minus 9 second, okay, that particular time lag is also not there. It is very instantaneous. Once the light falls, it is absorbed and the electron is emitted. Okay, so these are the experimental facts. Now we have to see the connection between photoelectric effect and the wave theory of light. Okay, so according to the electromagnetic theory of light, a substance exposed to the light is subjected to an oscillatory electric field. I have already told you that whenever we incident the wave onto the metallic surface, a wave is nothing but the electromagnetic wave, and it consists of electric field as well as the magnetic field, and they are oscillating with respect to time. Okay, so whenever that particular wave is incident, okay, that electron will absorb that particular wave, it will interact with that particular wave. But it is interacting with the wave means what? It is interacting with the electric field and magnetic field inside the wave. Okay, it is interacting with the amplitude of that electric field and magnetic field. So actually the energy of the wave should be proportional to the square of the amplitude, and that is nothing but the intensity. Okay, but if it is proportional to the intensity, then it would require Means I have already told you that if you calculate the energy in the electromagnetic wave, that energy is very less than the energy required for the electron to be liberated from the atom itself. Okay, so where from the additional kinetic energy is coming with the electron? So that again is the big question. Okay, so we cannot allow wave theory to explain this particular experimental fact. So this is all about, and I have already told you that if the light is nothing but the electromagnetic wave, then it should at least take, means that metallic surface should take at least 2 months for the electrons to be liberated from that metallic surface. Okay, but that is not the experimental finding. So that I have already told you that, and again I have told you that Albert Einstein was the scientist who explained this photoelectric effect by combining quantum laws for the photons and his own ingenious, right? So what is now the quantum theory of photoelectric effect? That is called as the Einstein's equation. So the assumption is the incident radiation energy is built up of discrete units, the so-called quantum of energy of radiation, and each photon of light of frequency nu has the energy h nu. So we know that according to the quantum mechanics, or according to the fundamental assumptions of the quantum mechanics, light cannot be thought of as a wave. Light is a collection of particles, and each particle is called as a photon, right? And every photon or every quantum of energy is nothing but h into nu. Every photon will have quantum of energy h into nu. Okay, only one photon is completely absorbed by one electron. It is again one of the assumption made by the Einstein, that only one photon will be absorbed by one electron. Okay, now when the light radiation is incident on the material, what will happen? A part of that energy is used by the electron to come out of the metal surface. This energy is known as photoelectric work function. This particular energy means, since the electron is loosely bound with the parent nucleus, some of the energy will be required by the electron to overcome this force of attraction, and this energy, this amount of energy is called as a photoelectric work function. It is denoted by phi, and remaining part is obvious, that remaining part will appear as the kinetic energy of the electron. Electron will travel with the maximum kinetic energy, then therefore maximum kinetic energy is half mv square max. Okay, so overall, actually we have already told in the first assumption that the energy of the photon is nothing but h into nu. So this is h into nu. If you write the energy equation, then it will come as h into nu is equal to photoelectric work function, that is amount of energy required for the electron to be liberated from the parent atom, plus kinetic energy of the electron. So h nu will be equal to kinetic energy plus plus phi, and kinetic energy is nothing but half mv square max plus h nu 0. Okay, and therefore kinetic energy maximum, if you write the expression for kinetic energy maximum, then it will come as h into nu minus nu 0. Okay, so in this